Back on Meet the Leaders from Hartford, from the 151st District, he comes. It's Fred Camillo who's joining us here. And Fred, first of all, you look very dapper in your bow tie. Like that very much. Big fan.
Thank you,
you have been very, very busy. We had only really half a session to be focused on hundreds and hundreds of bills, but a number of them are really key. And you've taken some nice small bills that are important bills and brought them to the public's notice. Buddy's bill is one of those that hopefully will be going and getting thumbs up today. Explain that to folks.
Buddy's bill was inspired by a German Shepherd who was shot in the head, who was adopted out, shot in the head about 3 years ago. And it turned out, the facts showed that it was shot for no reason. The dog had no biting history. So what I wanted to do is look at the laws and see if there's anything on the books that would prevent something like this, or at least send a strong message. As it turned out, while I was doing this the last several years, there have been quite a few more incidents. So last year it died on the Senate calendar. This year we got it out of the House. So now it's in the Senate, and hopefully it'll be called today or tomorrow.
And what does that call for?
Basically, it says unless there's four carve-outs. If they're a police dog, farm animal, exigent circumstances where there's an attack in progress, or if your animal is hurt, dying, and you can't get it there in time, you can humanely put it down. Other than that, you need to have a veterinarian do it, because we just don't want to see people indiscriminately killing dogs and cats.
Right.
And again, they can't speak for themselves. It's up to us to do that. So there'll be a $1,000 fine and/or a year in jail. And I'm willing to revisit that if it should pass, and make it even tougher next year if we have to.
One of the areas that I have been very sensitive to, and I think anybody who does any amount of driving around, is this distracted driving. And you drive around and you see more and more people tilting their heads and doing this and that and the other thing. And we're not just tilting our heads to tilt our heads, we're doing that texting thing. And it has already caused many deaths and many injuries. And what are we doing about it?
4 years ago, I was hit by a distracted driver, David, and I was lucky that I escaped with no injuries. My dog got hurt, but ended up in the front seat with me. But last year, a gentleman jogging into Canaan wasn't so lucky. He was struck and killed by a young girl who was actually on the internet while she was driving. And it turned out he was the boyfriend of a woman I know who had called me. And so I pledged to her I would get something done. And hats off to Representative David Scribner, who really cobbled this together with my portion of a bill. He had a study in place, a task force that will keep looking at this, see how we can make it even stronger. And then what we did, along with Tony Guerrera, who's the chairman of the Transportation Committee, is we now have a provision in there that would allow this to be reported to your insurance companies. That's the long-term hit. That's expensive. And again, we're willing to revisit that and make it even stronger next year. But that passed unanimously, and I think it will go in the Senate. We want to make Connecticut really a leader in safety on our roads, and I think texting has unfortunately become an epidemic, and it's, to me, worse than drunk driving, which is bad and often deadly, but there your eyes are at least on the road, and however murky. When you're texting, your eyes are completely off the road. A split second, that's all it takes to kill not only yourself.
You can tell people very quickly, and I think it's very tough on the police and so forth to monitor and really do anything about it. I think they feel very sensitive about doing that because, I don't know, it's too difficult to
well, we
whatever,
heard from some people that officers in a lot of places don't like giving out tickets that have too high of a penalty, which is not right either. Selective enforcement of the law is not.
But I mean, this could readily kill, as it's done many times in the past. And
absolutely.
It's very important to take care of.
So we doubled the fines. But also the big part of that is tying it into your insurance, reporting it back to your insurance companies, which really is going to be a hefty price to pay. But that's what we want to do. We want to send that message that this can't be tolerated. When I'm driving and the phone rings, I look down. I don't text, but I look down. That is almost as bad, because even though I'm not texting, I'm taking my eyes off the road. I wanted to get it to a point where we all put those phones in the glove compartment until we're done driving. It's become a cultural habit, one that unfortunately costs more lives each and every day across the country.
Listen, I know you've got a few more hours and a lot more in the way of bills to be working on. We thank you so much for your time today, Fred. It's always good to see you.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Do appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you,
All
David.
the best. And enjoy your time off when you get there. But wait, there is more as we are from up here in the beautiful capital with the work to be done still on this Meet the Leaders program. We'll be back with it in just a moment.